Happy Fire Alarm Friday, everyone, and welcome to System Test 2. So today, like I mentioned, we are going to be doing System Test 2, and we're actually going to be branching off of some of the stuff that we did in the last Fire Alarm Friday, where we unboxed quite a few alarms. A couple of them were pretty rare, so today we're going to be demonstrating one of them, and we're also going to be demonstrating something that only, 5 collectors in the entire community have, so it'll be kind of cool, and hopefully it'll be an interesting system test for you. As usual, we'll start out here with the panel. It is the Firelight MS5UD3, and it's got all of its troubles there. I'm not sure if I've explained this in a previous video. I'm sure I have at some point, but I'll refresh you all. All of the troubles that it's got here, let's go and focus on that. We've got the no battery trouble, of course. No batteries down here in the bottom. We've got NAC 4 and NAC 3 are both disabled. Those were originally the hallway NACs, but I currently have those disabled since there's nothing out in the hall and there's really no box out there at the moment. Zone 5 is currently at an open fault there. It doesn't have a resistor because when I bought this panel, it was actually already originally installed and then immediately removed to be replaced with an addressable system. So it was in fairly new condition when I got it. However, it appears that they had taken some of the terminal blocks out of it, and the relay block also got snatched off of it. So I've had to substitute in a couple of my own, and I don't have everything that'll fit those spots to fill everything in. So until I can get a kit of those and track one of those down, unfortunately we will still have that fault there for Zone 5, and then it did not come with any of the battery harnesses or anything like that. So, and there's nothing down on the AN bus, so I couldn't install an AN80 if I even wanted to. So I'd have to get some terminal blocks for that, but it's not something that's terribly important right now. I'd rather provide you guys with some interesting alarms to look at than resolving some troubles here, just for the sake of showing its system all normal. So anyway, that's what's going on with that. Still, everything is the same as usual there. Just go ahead and kind of wants to close here. Yeah, the can was also a little bit warped when I got it, but I got the panel for about $100, and considering it came in the original Firelight box still, that's pretty good for me, and I'm happy with it. It's a good panel, and it does the job. So we'll go ahead and start out over here. The pull station today is a Cerberus Pyrotronics MS151. It uses an Allen key reset instead of an actual metal key reset, so we'll be using the Allen wrench there today, and I've already got everything all queued up for that. So we've got one of those today. And then up here we have the Siemens UEC S75 chime strobe. It is a vibrating 75 candela chime strobe, which I also discovered in reading through the service manual that you can turn it into a single stroke chime if you cut one of the resistors off on the circuit board. I don't want to do that there because when I do that, that's somewhat of an irreversible process unless I solder stuff. So for now, it's going to remain a vibrating chime. The Wheelock MIZ is just going to be sitting there looking pretty as usual. It is not wired up. And then we have the Moderator Alarm, which we will be testing that today. That is that rare device that only a few people in the community have because it is for the Fire Alarm Technicians and Collectors Discord server, as you can see. Fun fact, it is not wired up to the @moderator ping, so it does not go off when you call us. That's something that we've joked around with doing, but none of us have actually taken the time to code something to analyze the Discord API and then trip the alarm. So that'll be something that maybe we'll do one day, but not right now. And then additionally, this is a ceiling mount chime strobe. So it's in a bit of a weird fashion here, but that's okay. It's going to be just fine because, like I said in the earlier video, we did get this new open box, so that makes things really cool to have, this brand new, fairly rare chime strobe. And then let's see if I can get a hold of the tag here. There we go. And it is that UEC S75. And it does have the 75 candela strobe. So, yeah, that's all we've got here. There is no hallway zone today. I don't have anything out there, and I don't plan on putting anything out there for the moment. So we're just going to go ahead and get started here. The system is set on temporal, so it'll just be doing code 3. We'll play around with some different coding options in a little bit here since it is a vibrating chime. It might react a little bit differently. So let's go ahead and without further ado, give it a pull. And as you can hear, it's really quiet, and I have the volume cranked up fairly loud on the chime. Yeah, it's honestly one of the quietest alarms in my collection, and that's on one of its louder settings. Yeah, it's a very quiet alarm, and like I said, I did have it on a fairly loud setting. It's not all the way up, so we still get some of the good sound quality without resonating the whole alarm. What I've noticed is when it's turned all the way up, it tends to rattle the alarm itself a little bit, and the speaker just doesn't sound very good, so that's why I've decided to turn it at about 80% volume, so that way we still get a good sound out of it, but it's not terribly quiet. At minimum volume, it is at 45 decibels, so it's a very, very quiet alarm. But I do like it. I feel like the strobe, honestly, is flashing a little bit slower than, or a little bit faster than 1 flash per second, but it looks good and it does the job. Very bright, very potent strobe, and everything seems to work just fine on it, so I'm happy with that one. So we'll go ahead and get this pull station reset as soon as the cameraman can get this into focus. And like I said, we have to use the Allen wrench. Now mine, unlike some others, are not spring-loaded, so this one is a little bit more difficult to reset. I actually have to kind of maneuver this because as you can see it went up, but the switch doesn't pop. So I have to pull it up all the way, and then now it's reset because inside of here, let's open this up. As you can see, we've got the little toggle switch in here, and it's got the normal and alarm information on there to show you the switch position, but when that's pulled down, it puts the system into alarm. When it goes back up, when you reset the pull station, everything is normal. So yeah, I have to do that because unfortunately these plates are not spring-loaded. They're not very great. But that's okay. These came out of an old credit union years ago, and I've had them for quite a while in my collection. So I'm going to have to put the camera down to put this cover plate back on because it's becoming apparent to me that this isn't going to work with one hand and the heavy camera. So let me go ahead and take care of this, and I'm going to cut the video real quick. Okay, so we are back, and I've got everything all reset, so we're all good to go there. And we are going to go ahead and put a reset in the system over here. So let's walk on back to the panel and look at that in focus. Now, before we play with the moderator alarm, let's see, there we go. So before we play with the moderator alarm, we're going to go ahead and see if we're actually recording audio here. I apologize for that cut there. It looks like my little audio meter on my camera disappeared on me, so I had no idea if my microphone was recording, but looks like we are good to go here. So, as I was saying, before we set off the moderator alarm, I feel like we should change up the coding options here a little bit and see what we can hear on that vibrating chime, so that way can kind of get a better idea of what it sounds like. So, I'm going to go into the programming mode, and I'll enter the passcode without showing you. And then we're going to go into the focus here. We're going to go to NACs, and it's on NAC 2. Let's go ahead and do March time, and then eventually we'll do continuous, so that way we can go ahead and get an idea of what a vibrating chime sounds like. And I think for this one we're going to do the drill function. We'll pretty much do that for all of the coding changes here. So I'm just going to go down to the drill button here, and it is hold 2 seconds. So, it's not really the biggest fan of March time, to be honest. it is indeed on March time, and it's not really doing anything except single stroke chiming. So yeah, it wasn't really doing March time, to be honest. It's probably because we're trying to run it in a vibrating chime mode, and it's trying to process that and get started, but it's not having a chance, so it just ends up turning into 60 beats per minute March time, which is ultimately what the continuous vibrating chime sounds like. So there's really no sense in putting it into continuous here after this. It pretty much just sounds the same. So I think the next thing we're going to do, and the final thing for the system test, is going to be pulling the moderator alarm. Now this is one that I do have set up, and I'll talk about how I got that set up here in just a few minutes. But anyway, what the moderator alarm is it is a custom labeled wheel-lock exceeder LED, just strobe only. So it's no horn behind the sticker there, but it's just the LED there. It's multi-candela, and for the purposes of being awesome, I set it up on 110 candela, so it's nice and bright. So the pull station for that is actually over here in the corner, and it's another one of my MS-151s. This is the one that's in really bad condition and does not have the locking mechanism, so you can reset it without an Allen wrench, and it's really just not in good shape at all. So that's kind of why I exiled it over here, because I don't think it's going to be playing any role in the big system test beyond this. I won't really be putting it on the zone, so that way it'll be doing much of anything. So let's go ahead and give this a pull. We'll go ahead and reset it while we're here. So there we go. We got the moderator alarm flashing away. And it's a pretty bright little strobe. The camera does not do it justice. So let's go hush the panel here, and I'll talk about what we're doing here. So as you can see, active supervisory on zone 3, which is the, I've set up as a supervisory zone, and so what it does is it trips the supervisory relay here, which I've set to relay 3, and in relay 3 I have the resettable power going through, so when the supervisory relay trips, it'll go ahead and push that. Or actually, let me double check. It may have been, let's see, I do believe, yes, it should be the, it actually should be the non-resettable power, if I have everything correct here. It's wired in over here. I'd have to double check the schematics because it's been a very long time since I've wired this. But it's there, and then when you reset the system, it'll reset the supervisory relay, and then everything goes back to normal. So go ahead and hit reset, and that relay clicks off, and everything goes back to normal. But it's not set up as an alarm zone or anything like that, just to make things simple. I could put it on a NAC if I wanted to, but when I originally designed this idea and implementing it into the system, NACs 3 and 4 were occupied out in the hall, so it seemed best just to put 24 volts up through a relay into the alarm. So that's what I've done there. In any case, that's all I've got for the system test today, so thank you so much for watching, and be sure to stay tuned for next week's Fire Alarm Friday. Again, this is a weekly series, so every Friday I'll be posting something fire alarm related here on the channel. 9 times out of 10 it'll be a premiere, so that way I can sit there and interact with you, you can interact with me, and we can have a conversation about the video together. So you can see what you liked and what you didn't like, and hopefully I can improve upon that. But again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, everyone.